The search for the Arizona Cardinals' new head coach still continues. This is what we know so far. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the video, today what we're going to talk about is what we know so far for all the coaching candidates that we know that the Arizona Cardinals are either have their eye on, who's not available. We're going to talk about all of it. Now, before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor. Smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On the road to 12K, ladies and gentlemen. Also, follow me on all my social platforms. Everything will be in the description of this video. All right, everybody, let's go and dive right into it here. Now, this is what we know so far. The Arizona Cardinals had 8 potential candidates to be the next head coach for the Arizona Cardinals heading into the 2023 season. Now, what we know is there's 2 coaches that are no longer in the running. One of them being Frank Reich. He ended up getting hired to be the head coach for the Carolina Panthers. And Dan Quinn is the second one that is no longer in the running. He ended up deciding to stay with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dan Quinn, to me, was the only one that seemed to be pretty close because he did get a second interview. A lot of speculations were saying that Dan Quinn was a shoo-in to be the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, but being that he decided to go back to the Dallas Cowboys, he is no longer in the running. Now that leaves us with 6 different candidates for the Arizona Cardinals to potentially bring into the 2023 season. Now, as of right now, nothing's been done. Now, with all the new coaches or all the teams that are trying to acquire a new coach, there's only one team that actually made a move so far, right? And that is the Carolina Panthers. So we probably shouldn't be too worried about it, but there is still 6 potential, candidates, at least as of right now, in my opinion. One of them being Ejiro Evero. Now, that is the defensive coordinator for the Broncos organization. The second one is Aaron Glenn. That's a defensive coordinator for the Lions. Next one is Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Brian Flores, we know who he is, spent his time, or at least, his head coaching time as far as being the Miami Dolphins head coach, and has spent some time with the Steelers organization. Now, there's also Vance Joseph that a lot of people don't really like to talk about a lot because they don't want that to be a real possibility, but he is a candidate. Now, obviously, Sean Payton has been one of the big talking points, and what we know is that they had an interview and it lasted for about 7 hours. Now, I don't know as of right now why it's taking as long as it is. Now, I do have some sort of, idea as to why it might be taking as long as it is, but let me also mention one name because I almost promise you people in the comments are going to say this name. DeMeco Ryans. Now, DeMeco Ryans was supposed to meet with the Arizona Cardinals over last weekend, and he unfortunately ended up canceling on the Arizona Cardinals and on another team. He ended up going to the interview for the Broncos and the Texans interview. Now, he went ahead and said that the reason why he canceled it was because of, him wanting to focus on the game. Now, that absolutely does make sense. Here's what I think. I don't think DeMeco Ryans wants to come to the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. There's nothing confirming that, but I don't know if we're going to reach back out to him to potentially interview him. So as of right now, I don't have him in the running. So let's talk about the most intriguing candidate, at least for most of the fan base. I can honestly say probably about 50% want Sean Payton. Now, Sean Payton did have an interview with the Arizona Cardinals, which seems to be trending in the right direction, right? It lasted 7 hours. We even had Fox 10. We even had, Channel 12, and that is our news stations here in Arizona, basically doing a Sean Payton watch and actually tailing him with cameras, basically watching him go into the facility and coming out of the facility. And last we seen was that Sean Payton actually did come out of the facility walking with Michael Bidwell, and they both get in Michael Bidwell's car and they end up driving somewhere. Now, I don't know if Sean Payton looked happy, right? I'm not sure if Michael Bidwell looked happy when they were driving off. That's kind of what we know so far. Now, to me, I took this as, hey, this is a positive sign, right? I don't think I would spend 7 hours with somebody that I didn't like. So it was a step in the right direction for Arizona Cardinal fans to feel very excited. Now, this is my take on the situation of why it's actually taking as long as it has. But also keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that there's only one team that has found their head coach of the future, right? And that is the Panthers. So let's not really worry about it too much, but we also do have to kind of let the Cardinals know that, hey, time is kind of, starting to a tick, because once more dominoes fall, less candidates are available for the Arizona Cardinals. But here's my take on why it's taking so long. Now, I'm still one of the Cardinal fans that is holding hope that Sean Payton is going to be the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, here's my take. I think it's taking as long as it's taking because I think that there is mutual understanding with each other, and I'm talking Cardinals organization and Sean Payton. I think there's a mutual interest between the two. I truly do. Now, I think what's taking as long as it is because it's not as easy as, hey, I like you, I'm going to sign you into a contract, sign here, and then everything's good, right? I don't think it's that easy with the Sean Payton situation. We're dealing with a Sean Payton that's under contract with the Saints for a total of 2 more years. So what does that mean? The Arizona Cardinals need to speak to the New Orleans Saints and offer some sort of draft capital package to go ahead and send to them to see if they're willing to accept it. Now, I'm only assuming that they're communicating back and forth in email. I mean, if this was a phone call, this is probably done already, or maybe the Saints just want to sleep on it. I mean, we don't really 100% know. But I think that's right there what's actually taking as long as it is. I don't see the Arizona Cardinals coming out of nowhere and giving us another random name and saying, hey, we want to interview this guy, right? I don't see that happening for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, if it does, I will be absolutely completely shocked. But as of right now, looking at the list of who we have available for the Arizona Cardinals to consider potential candidates to be our next head coach, it looks like most of those people are defensive-minded coaches, except for Sean Payton. So honestly, I think there's a lot to kind of unfold with this whole waiting game, and I know there's a lot of us that are getting a little antsy, we're getting a little upset because we're kind of left in the dark as Arizona Cardinal fans. This is one thing I'm going to say to you guys as Arizona Cardinal fans. If Sean Payton is truly the next Arizona Cardinal head coach, and this is the process in order for us to go ahead and speak to the Saints, I say just allow them to do what they need to do, right? There obviously needs to be something more involved as opposed to just a contract to be signed. There needs to be a negotiation had, and I do think that the Arizona Cardinals have strong interest with Sean Payton. Now, let me know what you guys think, ladies and gentlemen, about everything in the comments below. Now, with the list that I originally told you guys, the only people that I really see as real options is Sean Payton and Brian Flores. Now, as of right now, I know most people are saying if Brian Flores does get hired, we're going to support him because we're Cardinal fans, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be like our wind was taken out of our sail, and I kind of feel that same way too. I think I might have to take a day to process it, but we're going to support whoever is going to be the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals because we just want some darn success within this organization. But let me know, everybody, how you guys are feeling about this waiting game that we're waiting on right now from the Cardinals. Put everything in the comments below. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cards.